Can you believe this is England? Just off the southwest coast is an archipelago of subtropical islands called the Isles of Scilly. Think white sand beaches and tropical flora, but in the UK. I couldn't believe it, so when I was invited on a press trip to check it out, I had to say yes. Is this England's best kept secret? Let's see. To get to the Isles of Scilly, you need to either take a ferry or fly. Today, we're at Land's End Airport flying in this tiny skybus. However, we had perfect weather conditions and a preview of the cockpit, arriving at our destination in just 15 minutes. The view from this window is absolutely incredible. I am exhausted, but I cannot sit down. It just makes me want to go out there. And St. Mary's is not even the most beautiful of the Isles of Scilly. It's actually meant to be like the least beautiful. And yet right here we've got some gorgeous water, the boats coming in. So we're gonna go get some snacks in town. It's a very, very small town, by the way. I'll show you. And we're gonna do a 1-hour trek, I know, to a beach. To a beach that's meant to be one of the best beaches on this island. So let's see. In town, you'll find a few restaurants and pubs, a post office and a co-op, the only grocery supermarket in all the Isles of Scilly. After picking up some picnic snacks, we started our walk to the beach. We passed the harbour and its neighbouring beaches, which looked pretty decent, but we kept following the path inwards through the countryside fields until we reached our destination. This place is beautiful. Okay, not gonna lie, there are a ton of rocks and quite a bit of seaweed, but it looks like that's normal for a lot of the beaches here. We've seen a lot of seaweed on the beaches, but you can see that the sand is golden and the sea is a lot more blue than your typical British beach, for sure. Guys, let's do some initial first impressions of the Isles of Scilly. Number one, it's so quiet. Like, down by Hugh town, of course, there was like a hub of people, but even still, we're walking back to our hotel. It is so quiet, guys. Like, we've crossed a few people. On the beach, we were there by ourselves most of the time. Like, very, very quiet vibes. To this beautiful flowers. Literally behind me, there's just like all these like flowers. So beautiful. I think it is because of the sort of like the sub-Atlantic climate that the islands are exposed to. And what else? It's just a chill place. It's really just chill and quiet. Also, guys, before I came to the Isles, I heard about honesty boxes. So you don't know what honesty box is? It's when someone is selling something, but they don't actually sell it when they're there. They leave it on a shelf or like on a rack just by itself, and they trust you to buy the thing and leave the money in like a container or something, and it's just based on trust and honesty. And I've just passed an honesty box, so look at this. So in here it says, please come in, pick your own. So you've got little like nature stuff, You got, oh, you got Isles of Scilly jam, locally made jam. And then they trust you to pay. To end the day, we grabbed drinks at Juliet's and then tried some tasty Mediterranean dishes at Dibble and Grub. I wasn't so sure what I thought about the Isles of Scilly yet, so the next morning we decided to try another island for the day. Thankfully, boat services between the 5 inhabited Isles of Scilly are easily facilitated by St Mary's Boatmen Association, and after a 15-minute ride, we were on the island of Tresco. Guys, so Tresco is pretty. She's rugged. She's got the seaweed, she's got the rocks, but you can tell she's pretty. Look at the sea right behind me. She's a pretty girl. We are on our way currently, just walking to the gardens here. So this island is really famous because it has these like abbey gardens. So we're gonna go check that out. Yesterday when we were walking, we saw a lot of like fauna and flowers, even on St Mary's. So I'm excited to see what Tresco has. So we made it to the gardens, we're about to enter. So Liz and I will talk about something that's really funny, but basically we feel like the timings on the islands are like over exaggerated. So like the boat to Tresco was meant to be like 20-25 minutes. It took us about 15 minutes to get here. Yesterday the plane ride to St Mary's was meant to be another 20 minutes. It was definitely less than 15, like 15 about. But we were saying that like people here, especially senior citizens, would probably like go a lot slower. So like if you're gonna tell them they have to walk somewhere, you have to kind of think about the fact that they'll walk there quite slowly, whilst we are coming here with our London marching. I feel like Londoners, we walk too fast. We always have somewhere to go, and even walking to these gardens, we were both like, oh, we didn't realize it was so close. But it's not close, it's because we're running and sprinting here. For lunch, we dined al fresco at the Ruin Beach Cafe. It's super popular and overlooks a really nice stretch of beach by the old blockhouse, which we went to check out. I think when they were saying that this looks like the Caribbean of England, this is probably what they were talking about. This is stunning. The beach is definitely like a whiter sand beach than yesterday's, and the water is just crystal blue. It's so lovely. We're trying to find a place to kind of just put our stuff, because we put our stuff down and guess what? We accidentally put our stuff near some eggs, and if the bird comes back to protect her eggs and she finds us next to it, we are toast. Good morning, guys. It's Monday morning. It's our third day on the Isles of Scilly, and you know, it wouldn't be a proper British holiday if you didn't get a bit of grey. So The clouds are in and we're having a cloudy day. Quite unfortunate because we're actually about to leave St. Mary's and we're heading to one of the islands here that is like most well known for having the best beaches. I'm not sure if we're going to enjoy the beaches with the grey sky, but we're still going to do some fun stuff. For today we're going kayaking, we're also going to a vineyard, so we're still gonna have an interesting time. But just want to show you guys the reality of traveling within the UK. Yes, we just have to be honest, like there's nothing, you can't lie about it, like you're gonna get some grey. Hello grey. On our way to St. Martin's, the water turned really blue and it looks like maybe the sun would break, but alas it did not. St. Martin's was definitely the quietest island we visited. It felt rural, with animals, one small store, and a couple of honesty boxes. Despite the overcast weather, we still had a lot of fun with St. Martin's water sports. They rent out kayaks and paddleboards, and we headed out 15 minutes to a sandbank which appears at low tide. How cool. After lunch, we passed by St. Martin's Vineyard and Winery. Here you can do a self-guided tour through the 5 acres of land, learning about the wine and produce grown. I actually found it kind of interesting. We've come to the most important part of this wine tour, which is obviously tasting the wine. We've got a couple of options here, if you can see it. The end cup is water. We actually had to clarify, like, what is that? And it's water, not gin. I think the first one is a Pinot Blush. I've actually never had a Pinot Blush before. I've only had a Pinot Noir, which is the most basic wine. So here we are being cultured. It looks like a rosé. I feel like this is what my mom would drink because she only really drinks rosés. But apparently you can pair this with a salad or appetizer. It was also made in 2023. So the grapes grew last year. Like, this is not vintage. This is very, very fresh. Okay. This is nice. It's fresh. It definitely does taste fresh. It's a bit fruity. They said there's like kiwi and lime in it, but it has a dry finish, which I agree with. After doing the wine tasting, we ambled back to check into our hotel, passing by some adorable sheep and grabbing some Cornish ice cream. We're here for dinner. Hello. Yeah. Elderflower has been the drink of the trip. We've been drinking it any opportunity we have. It is so nice. On our last morning, we did some work before heading to Seven Stones Inn for some lovely pub grub with a view. Liz tried her first ever Cornish pasty and loved it. Overall, I had a really enjoyable time on the Isles of Scilly, but I do think the weather does affect your experience greatly, so you want to time it well for the summer. On our way back to mainland England, we took the ferry. I know many people will worry about the price point of having a holiday in the Isles of Scilly. I'm going to be honest, it is not cheap, but you can do a day trip with the ferry from just £35 return.